Don't make this a demonstration for one day. For at least 20 years, the Refugee Convention has been dishonoured by our leaders of left and right, dishonoured in thought and word and deed.
I think we can help, we can always help. We're in such a better position than the countries, and they're just torn apart by war.
Londoner Maha Neela describes how she's taking action during this refugee crisis.
The Calais Aid Network is a group of young people who live in London who have all come together through social media, and we all just want to do the same thing, which is just directly make some kind of impact on the people that are in Calais at the moment. The first time I went to Calais, it was definitely not what I was expecting, but still it totally surpassed my expectations. I think it did for everyone. We drove out of London at around like 5 o'clock in the morning, and when we got there it was just beyond like what you could imagine. It was almost as if we were suddenly in a third world country, in a slum somewhere, rather than in the middle of Calais in France, which is just insane. I mean, it takes 2 hours to get there from like my doorstep, so it's just a really surreal change of scenery to know that you can be 2 hours away and just be at home, and then 2 hours away from there you're sitting in this camp with thousands of people in tents, and it's really horrible. There was this one guy I met, his name was Matassim, and he was 24. He was an accountant, and it was just incredible meeting him because he had qualifications, he had skills, he was intelligent, he was young. And he was like, the only thing that keeps me warm at night is knowing that when I get to the UK, everything's going to be fine. And it was just a bit like heartbreaking, really, just to think it's not that simple. All of this and more, there was about 3 more rows of stuff, was all donated by our local cafe. They heard about what we were doing, and they just, in the space of a week, put this all together. They were offering free teas and coffees to anyone that donated. And they even got really amazing things like saris and shalwar kameezes, which are really in demand. I mean, people don't think that you'd need that, but a lot of the women there were looking for stuff like that. So it was a really cool way that the whole community and where I live just came together just for this cause. On our second trip, we just brought ourselves and tried to sort and distribute everything in the proper way, because I think that's the main problem there. People might just turn up in a van and drop everything on the ground and just expect people to be grateful for it. And it's like, one, these people are human beings and they've got dignity. They're not just, you know, like animals that you throw your scraps to. But also, if you don't distribute things properly, then you're going to end up with, you know, stuff all over the floor, which is what happens. They're not used to living like this. They're not used to living on the streets. They all had houses and homes and things. And I think a lot of people kind of don't expect that. They expect people who are here to be used to living in that kind of like squalor, which is just completely untrue. You know, it's just as if it's just like you or me or anyone just going, literally having to escape the place where you live and then being forced to live like that. Like, it's exactly the same comparison.